The princess lived on a distant planet filled with strange forests, glowing rivers, and skies that sometimes shimmered with colors no human eye had ever seen. Her home was a grand palace built of silver-like metal that sparkled under the twin suns. Though her world was beautiful, the princess herself was known for her cold heart and sharp tongue. People often said she cared more about her appearance, her status, and her treasures than anything else in the universe. She walked through the palace halls with her head held high, eyes always watching, always judging. She seemed untouchable, as if nothing could reach her heart among all the things she owned. There was one that was supposed to be her most prized possession, a magnificent lion-like creature. It was not an ordinary lion. Its fur shimmered with golden strands that glowed faintly in the dark. Its eyes were deep and intelligent, and its roar carried a strange power that could be felt in the chest of anyone who heard it. The creature followed the princess everywhere, moving silently behind her, loyal and gentle, always keeping pace no matter how fast or slow she walked. Though the lion adored her, the princess often treated it like a tool or a decoration. She would call it when she wanted to show off to visitors, but she would ignore it when it whimpered for attention or affection. The lion did not mind the coldness, or at least it tried not to. It had no one else to love, and somehow, in its large, silent way, it understood the princess's moods. When she smiled, the lion would relax and even nuzzle her legs gently. When she was angry or impatient, it would bow its head, letting her pass without a sound. The other creatures on the planet avoided the princess, but the lion stayed. It was the only being brave enough to stand near her without fear, and it did so with an unspoken loyalty that could never be broken. But the princess did not notice this loyalty. She walked through her days surrounded by servants and advisors, always thinking about what she wanted next, whether it was a new piece of jewelry, a rare plant from the forest, or another creature to add to her collection. She liked the lion because it looked impressive, because it made her seem powerful and important. Yet, deep inside, she did not care for it as a friend, not as something living with feelings and needs. It could have been a statue, for all she truly noticed that one morning. The princess decided to take a walk near a lake on the outskirts of the palace gardens. This lake was not like ordinary lakes on earth. Its waters shimmered with a soft blue light, and the surface reflected the skies in ways that made it look almost magical. Trees with translucent leaves surrounded it, their branches swaying even when there was no wind. Birds with sparkling feathers sang songs that echoed across the water. The lake was beautiful, but it could also be dangerous. The water was deep, with hidden currents beneath its calm surface, and many creatures had learned to stay away. The princess strolled along the shore, ignoring the delicate flowers that brushed against her robe and the curious creatures peeking from the underbrush. The lion followed closely, keeping pace with her elegant steps, its golden mane glinting in the sunlight. It watched the princess carefully, knowing that anything could happen if she became careless. It had learned to anticipate her moods, to predict the sudden movements of her hands or the snap of her temper. But no matter how careful it was, it could never stop what the princess often failed to see as they approached a narrow part of the lake where the water glowed a deeper shade of blue. The princess paused. She lifted her hand and waved, calling for one of her attendants to bring a floating platform so she could look across the water. The lion stayed near her feet, watching silently as the platform was brought close. For a moment, the princess leaned over the edge to admire the sparkling water, her reflection staring back at her like a painting. She laughed softly to herself, enjoying how beautiful she looked under the sunlight. The lion moved a step closer to the water, curious about the ripples and the way tiny fish shimmered beneath the surface. It sniffed the air, sensing the strange smells of the forest and the lake. The princess noticed its movement and frowned. "Step back," she said sharply, though she did not really mean it. The lion froze, obeying her voice. its tail swishing behind it, but the platform shifted slightly as the princess leaned further over the edge. The lion, caught between curiosity and instinct, stepped closer to the water again. Its paw brushed against the slippery stones beneath the surface. In a sudden slip, the lion tumbled forward. Its golden fur hit the cold, glowing water, and it sank beneath the surface. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. The princess screamed, her voice high and sharp. The lion struggled, thrashing its paws and trying to climb back onto the platform, but the current pulled it down. The water swirled around it, glowing eerily as if warning her of danger. Yet, instead of reaching out to save it, the princess hesitated. She stepped back, unsure whether she wanted to ruin her fine robes or perhaps realizing that this was not her responsibility. Seconds stretched into what felt like an eternity. The lion fought to stay above the water, its head bobbing up and down, eyes wide with fear and desperation. It let out a roar that echoed across the lake, full of pain and confusion. The princess's heart did not soften. She watched, silent and cold, and for reasons she herself did not understand, she turned and walked away. Perhaps she told herself it was just a creature, a possession that could be replaced. Perhaps she thought someone else would save it, or maybe she did not even think at all. The lion struggled, the water swallowing it more with every second, and the quiet world of the lake seemed to mourn its suffering. But as the lion flailed and fought against the current, a movement appeared from the other side of the lake. A figure emerged, running quickly across the stones and leaping into the water without hesitation. It was a human soldier, someone sent to the planet for exploration and protection. He had been observing the princess and her entourage from a distance when he saw the lion fall. Without thinking of danger, without hesitation, he dove into the glowing water. The soldier's arms reached for the lion, pulling it against the current, steadying its struggling body. The lion's golden fur clung to him as he fought to keep both of them afloat. He did not care that the water was deep or that the glowing currents tried to pull them down. All he cared about was saving this loyal, terrified creature that had been abandoned by its owner. The princess watched from the shore, frozen in place. She could not believe her eyes. This human, someone she had never met, was risking everything to save the very creature she had treated carelessly. She felt something strange, a tug of discomfort or shame that she could not fully understand. But she quickly turned her face away, unwilling to acknowledge it. Pride, fear, or stubbornness kept her frozen in the background as the soldier fought to bring the lion to safety. Finally, after what seemed like hours, but was only moments, the soldier managed to reach the shallows. He carried the lion onto the shore, laying it down gently. The creature shivered, exhausted but alive. Its eyes met the soldier's, and for the first time, the lion did not look fearful or confused. There was trust there, a silent acknowledgement that this human was different. The soldier knelt beside it, speaking softly, reassuringly. His hands worked to untangle wet fur, to dry it as best as he could. The lion, though still shaking, leaned into him, curling up as if it had finally found the home it had always wanted. It was a bond born not from ownership or status, but from care and courage. The princess turned and left silently, her robe brushing the glowing grass. She did not call the lion back. She did not demand it be returned. She simply walked away, leaving the human soldier and the creature together. For the first time, the lion was safe, and for the first time, it felt something real, love and protection that did not come with fear or judgment. And for the human soldier, he did not yet know the adventures or challenges that awaited him. But at that moment, he knew one thing clearly: this lion would not just be a companion. It would be a friend, loyal and brave, and together they would face whatever the universe had in store. The lion lay on the soft glowing grass, its golden fur still damp from the lake. Its chest rose and fell rapidly as it tried to catch its breath. The human soldier stayed close, gently brushing the water from its fur, whispering words of comfort that the creature somehow seemed to understand. For the first time in its life, the lion felt safe. No cold commands, no sharp words, no fear of being abandoned, just a quiet, steady presence beside it. The lake behind them shimmered faintly under the twin suns, reflecting light like tiny stars scattered across the surface. The princess had already disappeared into the distance, her robe rustling softly in the wind, leaving behind only the faint echo of her haughty footsteps. It was strange to think that this powerful, feared figure had been indifferent to the lion's struggle, letting it fight for its life alone. Yet here was a human stranger, someone small and ordinary in comparison to the alien royals, who had thrown himself into danger without hesitation. The lion lifted its head and looked at the soldier. Its large amber eyes seemed to question him, but also, strangely, to thank him. Slowly, it inched closer, its tail flicking nervously at first, then curling around the soldier's legs. The soldier smiled, softly stroking the creature's head. "It's okay," he murmured. "You're safe now. I won't let anything happen to you." The lion nudged him gently with its nose, a quiet gesture of trust. The soldier chuckled. "You're braver than most," he said, "but you shouldn't have had to do that alone." He looked toward the lake, still glowing under the twin suns, and shivered slightly. "Lucky I was here when you needed help." For a long while, they just sat together. The soldier wrapped a cloth around the lion's wet fur to keep it warm, and the creature leaned into him, its body heavy but relaxed. The silence between them was comforting. It was the kind of silence that felt alive, full of unspoken understanding. The soldier realized how extraordinary this creature was, not just its strength or beauty, but its heart, its loyalty, its courage to survive when no one cared. Meanwhile, back at the palace, the princess paced the halls in frustration. She could not understand why the human soldier had intervened. In her mind, she had always believed that her possessions, even living ones, were tools to display her power. The idea that someone else could care more than she did was both confusing and infuriating. She replayed the lake scene over and over, her mind struggling to accept it. How could a creature she had barely considered matter so much to someone else? How could it find loyalty in another when she had done nothing but own it? The soldier, however, did not worry about royal anger. He had come to the planet for a mission, yes, but also because he had a deep respect for life in all its forms. He had been trained to protect, to act without hesitation when lives were at risk, whether human or alien. And now he had this lion, not because he wanted a pet, but because he could not ignore a creature in need. His instinct told him that this was important. Something about the way the lion looked at him, trusting him after everything it had endured, made him realize that this was no ordinary situation. As night began to fall, the twin moons rose in the sky, casting soft light across the forest surrounding the lake. The air became cooler, and the glowing plants began to pulse faintly, creating an ethereal atmosphere. The lion rested its head on the soldier's lap, its eyes half closed. The soldier examined the creature more closely and noticed small cuts and scrapes from the fall. He carefully cleaned them with water and applied a soothing gel he had carried for emergencies. The lion flinched at first, but then stayed still. Sensing no threat, the soldier whispered to it, telling stories of his home planet, the strange adventures he had faced, and the promise of safety in this moment. The lion listened in its own way, tilting its head, letting the warmth of his presence soothe the fear it had carried for so long. Hours passed, yet neither of them moved. It was as if time itself had paused, giving them a quiet, intimate moment to bond. In the distance, the sounds of the alien forest continued, Strange creatures rustled in the underbrush, some glowing softly, others making gentle calls that echoed through the night. The soldier remained alert, scanning the shadows for any sign of danger. The lion, however, felt no need to worry anymore. With the soldier beside it, the world no longer seemed threatening. For the first time, it felt it had a protector who would not leave, would not abandon it, would not see it as a mere possession. The next morning, the soldier prepared a temporary resting area for the lion. He gathered soft moss and leaves, creating a comfortable bed near the edge of the forest where the sunlight filtered through the trees. He made sure water and some food were nearby. The lion approached hesitantly, sniffing everything carefully. Then, with a soft rumble of contentment, it lay down on the moss, curling up as if it had finally found a safe home. The soldier watched it for a long time. He wondered how this lion had come to be with the princess in the first place, how it had survived being neglected for so long, and how something so powerful could be left so vulnerable. He knew that many challenges lay ahead. Keeping the lion safe was only the first step. He would have to protect it from the princess, from other dangers on the planet, and from the uncertainties of a world that was not kind to those who were different. The lion, for its part, seemed to understand in its own way. It followed the soldier silently as he moved around the camp, keeping its eyes on him constantly. Whenever the soldier sat down or prepared food, the lion came closer, resting its head on his feet, always watching, always alert. The bond that was forming between them was quiet but strong, a connection based on trust and care, something neither of them had truly experienced before. That afternoon, the soldier decided to take a short walk through the forest to understand the area better and to find additional food sources. The lion padded alongside him, moving with surprising grace despite its size. They passed glowing plants, small streams, and hidden hollows where strange animals scurried. Each step deepened their understanding of each other. The soldier learned how the lion reacted to sounds and movements, and the lion learned that the human did not pose a threat. Only protection and guidance. As they returned to the temporary camp, the soldier noticed signs of the princess's earlier visit: trampled grass, disturbed stones, and faint marks where the platform had been brought. He realized that she might return to claim the lion, or worse, to punish him for intervening. The soldier's mind raced with questions. Should he hide the lion? Should he prepare to face the princess? But he also knew one thing with absolute certainty. He could not abandon this creature. Not now, not ever. That night, under the twin moons, the soldier and the lion rested. The lion curled up next to him, its warm body pressed against his side. The soldier spoke softly, telling it stories of his life, of the places he had seen, and of the adventures that awaited. The lion listened, its eyes closing slowly, trusting the voice that had saved it, trusting the hands that had tended to its wounds, trusting the heart that had chosen to protect it when others had failed. In those quiet moments, something changed. The lion no longer belonged to the princess. It no longer felt the weight of neglect or fear. Its loyalty shifted naturally, instinctively, to the human who had risked everything to save it. And the soldier, too, felt something he had not expected, a deep, unspoken responsibility and a connection that transcended words, species, or planets. Neither of them knew what the future held. They could not predict whether the princess would return, whether other dangers lurked nearby, or what challenges awaited them on this strange, glowing planet. But at that moment, in the stillness of the forest and under the soft light of the moons, both knew one undeniable truth. They had found each other, and together they could face whatever came next. The bond formed in the lake's glowing water had grown stronger with each passing hour. The soldier had discovered courage in his own way, and the lion had discovered something it had never known before: true care, loyalty, and safety. And though the princess had left them behind, Her absence marked the beginning of something new, a partnership forged in trust, compassion, and the unspoken understanding that they would protect each other no matter what. The morning air was cool and crisp, filled with the scent of glowing plants and strange flowers that only grew on this alien planet. The soldier woke first, stretching and listening to the soft breathing of the lion curled beside him. The creature's golden fur shone faintly in the morning light, and its eyes followed every small movement the soldier made. It was a strange but comforting sight, and the soldier felt a connection growing stronger with every passing moment. He had been trained for many things during his time in the military, dangerous missions, navigating hostile environments and protecting people from harm. But nothing in his training had prepared him for this kind of bond, a connection that went beyond orders and rules. This lion was not just an animal. It was brave, loyal, and surprisingly intelligent. Its trust in him was absolute, and the soldier knew that he had to honor that trust, no matter what. As the twin suns rose higher in the sky, painting the forest with golden light, the soldier began to plan the day. He needed to gather food, find safe water sources, and create a more secure shelter for the lion. While doing this, he had to remain alert. The princess could return at any moment, angry and demanding, and he had no way to predict her actions. But he also knew he could not rush or panic. The lion depended on him, and that responsibility gave him focus. They moved through the forest together, the lion padding silently beside him. Strange creatures peeked from behind glowing trees, watching the pair with curious eyes. Some were small, no bigger than a child's hand, while others were large and imposing. The soldier had learned to move quietly, to make slow gestures, and to observe without disturbing the wildlife. The lion, too, seemed to understand. Its steps were careful, almost thoughtful, as if it knew the forest held both beauty and danger. Suddenly, the lion froze, ears pricked, eyes locked on something ahead. The soldier followed its gaze and saw a group of small predators creeping through the underbrush. They were unfamiliar creatures, with sharp claws and glowing eyes, moving in a pack. The soldier's hand went instinctively to the utility belt at his side, but he knew there was no time to waste. The lion let out a low growl, its body tense but controlled. The sound was more than a warning. It was a signal, a declaration that the soldier and the lion were united. The predators hesitated, sensing the strength and determination in the lion. Then, in a sudden burst of energy, the lion lunged forward, roaring fiercely. The sound echoed through the forest, startling the predators and sending them scattering. The soldier followed closely, helping the lion maintain control and ensuring no harm came to either of them. After the threat had passed, the lion returned to the soldier's side, panting slightly but unhurt. Its eyes met his, and the soldier nodded, feeling a sense of pride and relief. This was more than a simple act of protection. It was teamwork. For the first time, he realized that the bond between them was not just about care or trust. It was about mutual understanding, about facing challenges together. Later that day, as they returned to their temporary camp, the soldier noticed signs that the princess's presence had not disappeared completely. There were small footprints in the glowing moss, faint impressions where her attendants had carried objects, and traces of the platform she had used at the lake. The soldier's mind raced. He had expected her to leave, but it seemed she had been watching from a distance, perhaps planning her return. The thought made him uneasy. He knew that the princess was powerful and cunning, and she would not accept losing her prized creature so easily. But he also knew that he could not abandon the lion, no matter the consequences. The creature had been neglected, left to struggle for its life, and now it had a protector who would never repeat the mistakes of the past. The soldier steeled himself, knowing that confrontation might come sooner than he hoped. As evening approached, the twin moons began to rise, casting silver light across the forest. The soldier and the lion rested near the edge of the clearing, the lion curling up against him once more. He spoke softly, telling it about other planets he had visited, about distant lands and the people he had met. The lion listened, its head resting on his knee, and the soldier found comfort in the simple presence of the creature. He realized that the lion was not just dependent on him, it was a companion, a friend who shared his journey and his challenges. Suddenly, a noise from the edge of the forest caught their attention. Leaves rustled unnaturally, and the air seemed to shimmer with tension. The soldier rose slowly, signaling the lion to stay close. The creature obeyed immediately, its body low and ready to react. From the shadows emerged a figure, moving with purpose and confidence. The soldier's heart sank slightly as he recognized the silhouette of the princess. She stepped into the clearing, her expression a mixture of anger and disbelief. "Where is my creature?" she demanded, her voice sharp and commanding. "I will have it back at once." The soldier stood his ground, placing himself between the princess and the lion. "It is not just your creature anymore," he said firmly. "You left it to struggle and drown. I saved it. Now it belongs with someone who cares, someone who will protect it." The princess's eyes narrowed, and she stepped closer, but the lion growled low in its throat, standing tall and protective. Its golden fur seemed to glow even more under the moonlight, and its eyes were fixed on her. The princess paused, momentarily taken aback by the creature's defiance. She had never seen it act this way, never seen it choose someone over her. The soldier felt a surge of determination. "It trusts me," he continued. "It does not belong to someone who sees it as a possession. It belongs to someone who respects its life and its loyalty." The princess's face hardened. She had always expected obedience, and the lion's refusal to obey her was an affront to her pride. But there was nothing she could do. The creature had chosen, and it was clear that the human soldier had earned its loyalty. For the first time, she felt powerless in the face of something she could not control, realizing that her anger would not change the situation. The princess turned and walked away, her robe rustling softly in the wind. The soldier watched her leave, then turned his attention back to the lion. The creature nuzzled his hand, purring softly, a gesture of gratitude and trust. The soldier knelt beside it, speaking gently. "You're safe now," he said. "No one can take you from me." The lion responded with a soft rumble, its eyes closing briefly as it leaned into him. In that moment, the bond between them felt unbreakable. They had faced danger together, defied the expectations of the powerful, and emerged stronger for it. That night, under the twin moons, the soldier and the lion rested. The forest around them was quiet, save for the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of alien creatures. The lion slept close to the soldier, its breathing steady and calm. The soldier felt a sense of peace he had not known in a long time. He had found a companion who would stand by him, who would trust him completely, and who would face the unknown together. In the days that followed, the soldier focused on strengthening their temporary camp. He taught the lion how to navigate the forest safely, how to avoid hidden dangers, and how to respond to unexpected threats. The lion adapted quickly, showing intelligence and understanding beyond ordinary expectations. Together, they formed a partnership built not on fear or command, but on respect, trust, and shared experiences. The princess did not return immediately, but her presence lingered in the soldier's mind. He knew that challenges lay ahead, and that keeping the lion safe would not always be easy. Yet he also knew that they were ready. Together, they could face anything, no matter how dangerous or unpredictable the world might become. As the twin suns rose once again, casting golden light across the forest, the soldier and the lion moved through the trees side by side. Each step strengthened their bond, each shared moment deepened their trust. The human and the lion had found each other in a world full of uncertainty, and together they were ready to face whatever came next. The sun rose slowly over the alien forest, painting the glowing plants and trees in soft golden hues. The air was filled with the scent of damp earth and flowers that seemed to shimmer under the twin suns. The soldier awoke, stretching and glancing over at the lion, who was curled up nearby. The creature's golden fur glowed faintly, still soft with remnants of lake water, but its breathing was calm, steady, and untroubled. For the first time, the lion seemed truly at peace. The soldier knew they had survived the first test, the danger of the lake, the princess's abandonment, and the creatures of the forest, but he also understood that this was only the beginning. The lion had been through so much, and its body and spirit needed time to heal. He needed to take care of it, not just physically, but emotionally as well. He had already seen how the creature trusted him completely, and he wanted to make sure that trust was never broken. He carefully approached the lion, speaking softly. "Good morning," he said. "How are you feeling today?" The lion lifted its head and blinked slowly, letting out a small rumble in response. It nudged him gently, as if to say that it was ready for whatever came next. The soldier smiled. "All right," he said. "We have a lot to do." First, he focused on healing the lion's injuries. He found a small stream nearby and used its cool, clear water to clean the scrapes and cuts from the fall into the lake. The lion flinched at first, but remained calm, trusting the soldier's hands and the careful movements he made. He applied soothing gels from his kit, rubbing them gently into the wounds. The lion's golden mane shimmered in the sunlight, and with every careful touch, it seemed to relax a little more, leaning into his hands as if to say, "Thank you." After tending to the wounds, the soldier focused on nourishment. He had collected some food during the previous days, and he carefully prepared a small meal for the lion. The creature approached slowly, sniffing at the food before eating. Its hunger was clear, and the soldier watched patiently, waiting until the lion had finished before speaking. "Good," he said. "You need your strength." While the lion ate, the soldier reflected on how remarkable this creature was. It had been abandoned by the princess, left to face a dangerous lake alone, yet it had survived. It had not given up, not once. Its loyalty and bravery were extraordinary, and he felt honored to be the one who could protect it now. But he also knew that they needed more than food and clean wounds. They needed safety, and they needed a place where they could start building a new life together. The soldier began working on improving their temporary shelter. He collected soft moss, large leaves, and flexible branches to create a more comfortable area for the lion to rest. He reinforced the area with sturdy logs to protect against any curious predators that might wander too close. The lion watched his efforts closely, occasionally offering a low rumble or a gentle nudge as if approving his work. It was a strange kind of conversation, but the soldier understood. The lion was learning to trust, and he was learning to communicate without words, reading the creature's movements and expressions. Once the shelter was ready, he helped the lion inside, laying it down gently. The creature stretched, rolling onto its back and letting out a satisfied sigh. The soldier smiled. "There," he said. "This is your space now. Safe, comfortable, and all yours." The lion blinked slowly, a gesture that seemed almost like gratitude. For hours, they stayed in the shelter, the soldier speaking softly to the lion, telling stories about distant worlds, strange adventures, and the importance of trust and loyalty. The lion listened, tilting its head and occasionally letting out a small growl of interest. It was clear that the bond between them was growing stronger with every word. Every touch, every shared moment of quiet understanding. Later in the afternoon, the soldier decided to take the lion for a short walk through the forest. He wanted to help it regain its strength and confidence, to show it that the world was not entirely dangerous, and that they could face it together. The lion followed closely, moving with grace and caution. Its golden fur shimmered as it stepped over glowing roots and around strange, luminous plants. The soldier watched carefully, alert for any hidden dangers. As they moved deeper into the forest, they came across signs of other creatures. Some were harmless, moving quickly and quietly through the underbrush. Others were more intimidating, with sharp claws and glowing eyes. The soldier guided the lion carefully, teaching it to observe, to listen, and to respond appropriately. He realized that this was more than just a walk. It was training, building the lion's confidence and ensuring that it could survive alongside him during their walk. The soldier also noticed traces of the princess's earlier visit: flattened moss, footprints, and marks where her attendants had carried objects. He realized she might still be watching, waiting for an opportunity to reclaim the lion. The thought made him tense, but he pushed it aside for the moment. The lion's well-being came first, and he would deal with any challenges as they arose. Returning to their shelter, the soldier continued to care for the lion. He prepared another meal, spoke softly, and allowed the creature time to rest and recover fully. He noticed small changes, how the lion no longer flinched at sudden sounds, how it followed him without hesitation, how it looked at him with trust and affection rather than fear or confusion. These small changes were signs of progress, and the soldier felt a sense of accomplishment mixed with relief. As night fell, the twin moons rose again, casting a silver glow across the forest. The soldier and the lion rested near the shelter, the creature curled up close beside him. The soldier spoke quietly, telling it that they were safe now, that no one could harm it as long as he was there. The lion responded with a soft rumble, leaning into him and closing its eyes. The forest was quiet, except for the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. In that peaceful moment, the soldier realized that they had formed something extraordinary, a bond based not on ownership or command, but on care, trust, and loyalty. Over the next few days, the soldier continued to strengthen the lion's recovery. He taught it to navigate the forest, to recognize potential dangers, and to respond to them calmly. He observed its behavior closely, adjusting his approach as needed, always mindful of the creature's comfort and confidence. The lion adapted quickly, learning not only from the soldier's guidance, but also from its own instincts. It became more agile, more alert, and more confident in its surroundings. The soldier also began to reflect on what this bond meant. The lion had been abandoned by someone who should have cared for it, yet it had survived and found loyalty elsewhere. In a way, the soldier saw parallels to his own life challenges, struggles, and moments of uncertainty that had been overcome through courage, trust, and connection. This lion was no longer just a creature in need. It was a companion, a friend, and a partner in facing the unknown. One evening, as they sat together under the twin moons, the soldier noticed how calm the lion had become. It no longer flinched at sudden sounds, no longer hesitated in its movements, and no longer seemed afraid of the world around it. It had grown stronger, both physically and emotionally, under his care. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that his efforts had made a real difference. The lion had survived not just the dangers of the lake, but the emotional neglect it had endured. And now it thrived in a world where it was valued and loved, not in the quiet of the night. The soldier whispered to the lion, promising that he would protect it no matter what challenges lay ahead. The creature responded with a gentle nuzzle, a gesture of trust and gratitude. It was a small but powerful acknowledgement of the bond they shared, one that could withstand any future dangers, including the inevitable return of the princess or any other threats that might come their way. For the first time, the soldier allowed himself to imagine a future with the lion by his side, not just surviving. but truly living, exploring the forest together, facing challenges as a team, and building a life based on trust, loyalty, and care. The thought brought him a sense of hope and determination. He had found something extraordinary, something worth protecting, and he would not let anything destroy it. The lion, meanwhile, rested peacefully, its head on the soldier's lap, its eyes half closed. It had endured so much, yet here it was, calm and content, knowing that it was safe and cared for. The bond between them had grown stronger with every passing day. A connection built on shared experiences, trust, and the simple understanding that they would protect each other, no matter what dot, as the twin moons rose higher. Bathing the forest in silver light, the soldier and the lion sat quietly together, sharing the comfort of each other's presence. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the distant shimmer of glowing plants. It was a peaceful night, one that marked not just recovery, but the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, a chapter filled with trust, loyalty, and the unspoken promise that they would face the world together, no matter what it brought. And so, in the quiet of the forest, under the light of the twin moons, the soldier and the lion found not just safety and rest, but a deep and unbreakable bond, one that would carry them through the challenges yet to come, including the eventual confrontation with the princess and any other dangers the world might throw. The forest was quiet that morning, filled only with the soft rustling of glowing leaves and the faint hum of alien insects. The soldier was awake early, preparing a simple meal of gathered fruits and small, safe creatures for the lion. The golden-furred creature watched him closely, its eyes alert and intelligent. It had grown stronger over the past days, its wounds healed, its confidence restored, and its trust in the soldier unshakable. The soldier felt a sense of pride in their progress. The lion had not only survived the dangers of the lake and neglect of the princess, but had also grown into a creature capable of navigating the forest with grace and caution. It followed his guidance naturally, responding to subtle gestures and commands, yet it retained its own instincts and intelligence. Their bond was no longer fragile, it was strong, built on shared experience, trust, and care. But even as the morning light spread across the forest floor, the soldier felt a tension in the air. Something was different today, a weight that pressed against the calm. He could not see it, but he sensed it, a presence that moved through the forest silently, watching, waiting. He glanced toward the edge of the clearing and stiffened. There, partially hidden behind a line of glowing trees, he saw a familiar figure. The princess had returned. Her silver robes shimmered in the sunlight, her expression sharp and commanding. She walked with the confidence of someone used to being obeyed, used to having her way. But this time, she had come with purpose, her eyes fixed on the golden lion that rested near the soldier. The creature had become more than a prize. It had become a symbol of her lost control, and she would not leave without it. The soldier rose slowly, placing himself between the princess and the lion. The creature, sensing the tension, stood beside him, tail flicking, muscles coiled, and eyes sharp. It was ready to defend, but it trusted the soldier to lead. The princess's gaze sharpened, and she spoke, her voice cutting through the forest like a blade. "Return my creature at once. It belongs to me, and you have no right to interfere." The soldier remained calm, his eyes steady. "It is not just yours," he said firmly. "You left it to struggle and drown. I saved it. Now it belongs to someone who cares for it, someone who respects its life and loyalty." The princess's eyes flashed with anger. She had never faced defiance like this before, never encountered someone who refused her commands so calmly and confidently. Her lips pressed into a thin line as she stepped closer, trying to assert her authority. "You dare defy me?" she demanded. "I am a princess, Everything on this planet answers to me. That lion is mine." The lion growled low in its throat, stepping forward slightly. Its golden mane shimmered, and its eyes fixed on the princess with unyielding loyalty toward the soldier. It was a silent but powerful statement. It would not obey her. The princess faltered for a moment, stunned by the creature's defiance. She had always believed that the lion's loyalty was hers by right of ownership. But here it stood, choosing someone else, and she had no power to change that. The soldier took a step closer to the lion, speaking softly but firmly. "It trusts me," he said. "It belongs with someone who will protect it and care for it, not with someone who abandoned it when it needed them most." The princess's face hardened. Pride and anger warred within her, and she tried to mask her frustration with authority. "You cannot keep it," she said. "I demand it back. You will regret defying me." The soldier did not flinch. "I am not asking," he said. "I am telling you. You left it to struggle for its life. You ignored it when it needed you most. I saved it. That means something. That loyalty, that trust, belongs to me now." For a moment, the forest seemed to hold its breath. The only sounds were the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of creatures hidden in the trees. The lion stepped closer to the soldier, pressing its body against his leg. It was a simple gesture, but the meaning was clear. It was on his side, fully and without hesitation. The princess's hands clenched at her sides. She had faced many challenges in her life, but never one like this. The creature she had considered a possession had chosen another. Its loyalty had shifted, and no amount of anger or authority could change that. For the first time, she realized that power alone did not command respect or trust. The soldier's courage, his care, and his willingness to risk himself had earned something she could never take with force. The lion let out a low, warning growl, its amber eyes fixed on the princess. She hesitated, unsure how to proceed. The soldier gently placed a hand on the creature's mane, feeling the warmth and strength of the bond they shared. "It is safe," he said, "and it will stay that way." The princess's voice trembled with frustration. "You think this changes anything?" she said. "I will find a way to take it back. You cannot stop me forever." The soldier shook his head. "Perhaps not," he admitted. "But today, you do not control it. Today, I do. And until it chooses to leave, it stays with me." The princess glared, then turned sharply, sweeping her robe behind her as she left the clearing. The soldier watched her go, his eyes following the shimmer of silver as she disappeared into the forest. The lion remained at his side, its body relaxed now, its eyes soft with trust. The immediate danger had passed, but he knew this was not the end. The princess's pride would not allow her to give up easily, and he had to be ready for whatever came next. For the rest of the day, the soldier focused on strengthening their shelter and securing their surroundings. He prepared food, checked the perimeter for potential threats, and spent time with the lion, reinforcing their bond through quiet gestures, soft words, and shared moments of trust. The creature responded in kind, following him closely, learning from his movements, and trusting his judgment implicitly. The soldier realized that their bond had become unbreakable. The lion had chosen him not just because he had saved it, but because he had shown care, courage, and respect. He understood the creature in ways that the princess never had, and he knew that this connection was more important than any challenge or threat that might arise as night fell. The forest was bathed in silver light from the twin moons. The soldier and the lion rested together, the creature curling up against him in a display of complete trust. The sounds of nocturnal life filled the air, and the forest seemed to hum with quiet energy. The soldier spoke softly to the lion, promising that he would protect it no matter what dangers the future held. The lion responded with a gentle nuzzle, leaning closer, as if to say, "I trust you." I am yours." The soldier smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest that he had not known for a long time. The confrontation with the princess had been tense and frightening, but it had also revealed something important. Loyalty, trust, and care were more powerful than authority or fear. The lion had shown him that, and he had shown the creature that it could rely on him completely. In the quiet of the night, under the twin moons, the soldier and the lion shared a moment of peace. They had faced danger together, defied the expectations of the powerful, and emerged stronger for it. The bond between them was no longer fragile. It was steadfast and true, built on courage, trust, and the shared knowledge that they would protect each other, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The soldier knew that the princess might return, that new threats might appear, and that their journey was far from over. But he also knew that they were ready. Together, they had faced one of the greatest tests, the test of loyalty, courage, and choice, and they had passed. The lion had chosen him, and in doing so, they had formed a partnership that could not easily be broken. As the night deepened and the forest settled into a gentle quiet, the soldier and the lion rested, their bond stronger than ever. They had survived danger, defied authority, and discovered a connection that transcended species, worlds, and expectations. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. They had each other, and together they could face whatever challenges the universe might throw their way. The forest was quiet as dawn broke over the alien world, the twin suns casting gentle light over the glowing trees and shimmering plants. The soldier awoke first, stretching and listening to the soft breathing of the lion curled up beside him. The golden-furred creature stirred, blinking slowly, and nudged him gently with its nose. It was a familiar gesture now, one that meant trust, comfort, and companionship. The soldier smiled, knowing that after all they had endured, this creature had truly become part of his life. The previous days had been full of challenges. The lake, the princess's abandonment, the encounter with the forest predators, and the confrontation with the princess herself, all of it had tested them. But through every danger, a bond between the soldier and the lion had grown stronger. It was no longer just about survival. It was about partnership, loyalty, and the quiet understanding that they would face the world together, no matter what came next. The soldier stood, stretching, and looked around the forest clearing. The shelter they had built was secure, food and water were prepared, and the forest seemed peaceful for the moment. Yet he knew that challenges were never far away in this strange, glowing world. He had learned to remain vigilant, to anticipate danger, and to act without hesitation when needed. And now, with the lion by his side, he felt more capable than ever. The lion rose gracefully, shaking its fur and stretching its powerful legs. It moved toward him, brushing its head against his side. "Ready for the day?" he asked softly. The lion let out a small rumble in response, its eyes bright with alertness and intelligence. Together, they began to patrol the perimeter of their shelter, moving cautiously through the forest. The creature followed his lead, but also observed everything around them with keen instincts, alert for any signs of trouble. As they moved, the soldier reflected on how much had changed. When he had first found the lion, it had been scared, abandoned, and unsure of the world. The princess had treated it as a possession, indifferent to its needs or feelings. Yet despite the neglect and danger, the lion had survived. It had fought to live, and now, under his care, it had thrived. Its strength, intelligence, and loyalty were remarkable, and he felt proud to have earned its trust. Suddenly, a rustle in the underbrush caught their attention. Both the soldier and the lion froze. The creature's muscles tensed, and the soldier instinctively placed a hand on its mane, ready to act. From behind a tree, a small group of alien creatures emerged, curious but cautious. They watched the pair, glowing eyes flicking between the soldier and the lion. The soldier remained calm, kneeling slightly to appear non-threatening. The lion growled softly, but it was a controlled warning, not an attack. The creatures approached slowly, sniffing the air, and the soldier offered gentle gestures to show he meant no harm. The lion followed his cues, maintaining calm yet alert. After a tense moment, the creatures retreated, satisfied that neither the soldier nor the lion posed a threat. The soldier exhaled quietly, feeling the bond between him and the lion deepen even further. They had faced another challenge together, and once again, the lion had trusted him completely. Later that morning, they returned to the shelter. The lion lay down, resting its head on the soldier's lap as he gently stroked its fur. "You've grown so much," he said softly, "not just in strength, but in confidence. You're amazing." The lion let out a soft rumble, a sound that seemed almost like a purr of contentment. The soldier smiled, realizing that these quiet moments were as important as the challenges they had faced. Trust and care had created something unbreakable between them. As the day passed, the soldier decided it was time to think about the future. The princess had not returned yet, but he knew she might come back, angry and determined. He needed to ensure the lion's safety for the long term. He also wanted to formalize their bond, to show the lion that it would never be abandoned again. He began planning a place where they could live safely, a home that would protect the lion from any threats. Human or otherwise. In the afternoon, the twin suns were high, and the forest was bathed in golden light. The soldier and the lion took a long walk through familiar paths, exploring and strengthening the lion's confidence in its surroundings. They moved as a team, instinctively aware of each other's presence. The lion would glance at him for guidance, and he would respond with a nod or a gesture. Their communication had become silent yet clear, a bond formed through trust and experience rather than words alone. As evening approached, the soldier noticed a distant shimmer at the edge of the forest. He stiffened, recognizing the familiar figure of the princess. She had returned, and this time her presence carried determination. The soldier stood tall, positioning himself between the lion and her. The creature responded immediately, stepping close to him, muscles coiled and ready. It was clear that it would not leave his side, no matter what threats approached. The princess's eyes were sharp as she advanced, her voice commanding. "I warned you," she said. "Return my creature. It belongs to me. You cannot keep it." The soldier remained calm, meeting her gaze. "It no longer belongs to you," he said. "You left it to struggle and drown. I saved it. That loyalty and trust belong to me now, because I have earned it. I will not give it up." The princess's face twisted with frustration. She had never encountered such defiance. She had always been used to command and obedience, but the lion's choice was clear. It trusted him, and he had shown care and courage she never had. The soldier continued, voice steady. "It has chosen its companion, and that choice cannot be taken by force. We are partners now. That is not something you can control." For a tense moment, the princess hesitated. She realized that no amount of anger or authority could change the bond that had formed. The lion stepped closer to the soldier, its body brushing against him, signaling its complete trust. She turned sharply, her robe swirling behind her, and without another word, disappeared into the forest. The soldier exhaled, feeling the weight of tension lift. The immediate danger had passed, and the lion remained by his side, calm and loyal. That night, under the twin moons, the soldier sat beside the lion, speaking softly. "No matter what happens," he said, "you are safe with me. I will always protect you. You will never be abandoned again." The lion responded with a gentle nuzzle, leaning close, a silent acknowledgement of trust and gratitude. The bond between them was complete, a partnership forged through shared trials and unwavering loyalty. Over the next few days, The soldier worked to establish a permanent shelter, safe from predators, intruders, and any future threats from the princess. He built a secure home among the glowing trees, reinforced with sturdy logs and soft moss for comfort. He taught the lion how to move safely within this space, how to navigate traps and obstacles, and how to respond to unfamiliar creatures. The lion adapted quickly, displaying intelligence and instincts that impressed the soldier every day. The soldier also focused on daily routines to strengthen their bond further. He fed the lion, spoke gently to it, and shared stories of distant worlds and experiences from his life. The lion responded with affection and attentiveness, tilting its head, nudging him, and sometimes letting out a soft rumble of contentment. The soldier realized that this creature was not just a companion, it was family. A partner who would stand by him in all situations. Brave and loyal Dot as days turned into weeks. The soldier and the lion grew more inseparable. They explored the forest together, navigated hidden streams and glowing groves, and faced minor threats that arose from the alien wildlife. Each experience strengthened their trust and understanding. The lion's golden fur seemed to shine brighter, its movements more confident, and its eyes full of intelligence and warmth. Finally, one evening, the soldier sat beside the lion under the twin moons, feeling the cool glow of the forest around them. He gently stroked its mane and whispered, "From now on, you are mine to protect, and I am yours. No one can take that away. We are partners, companions, and family forever." The lion responded with a soft, deep rumble. Pressing its head against him in quiet affirmation, the soldier smiled, knowing that the journey they had shared, the dangers, the challenges, the abandonment, and the loyalty had led to this moment. The lion had found a true home, and he had found a companion who would never leave him. Their bond was unbreakable, forged through courage, care, and mutual trust. As the forest settled into a peaceful night, the soldier and the lion rested together, side by side. The twin moons cast a gentle silver glow over them, and the forest seemed to hum with quiet life. The princess was gone for now, and the lion was safe, loved, and loyal. Together, they had faced danger, defied expectations, and discovered something extraordinary, an unbreakable bond between human and creature, built on trust, courage, and love. And so, their story continued, not as master and possession, but as companions, friends, and family. The soldier had adopted the lion, and the lion had chosen him as its protector and partner. Together, they would face whatever challenges the universe held, their bond shining brighter than the twin suns that rose each morning over their alien home. They had survived the lake, the princess's abandonment, and the dangers of the forest. They had faced defiance, fear, and uncertainty, and they had emerged stronger. Now, at last, they could rest, knowing that they were truly together,